Hello everyone, Catherine Michele here, and today I'm joined with Sophia.
Hello everybody.
And today we're going to talk about the bodies in the living room and the deaths that supposedly occurred in the living room. Sophia has been working on a presentation, and I think you guys will find it not only enlightening, but it's going to open your eyes to the real facts and not the narrative. We know the narrative says that they were killed in the living room. All three of them died within the living room. But Sophia is going to show us, she's done a lot of work here with not only photos, but a lot of research, and then going out to furniture stores and doing comparison. And I think you will find it sufficient proof that by the time she's done with this presentation, that you will see it wasn't possible that they were all three killed within the living room. Sophia, do you have anything you want to add before we start?
I just would like everybody to please follow along until the end, because we really tie this all together. And if you have any questions whatsoever, please feel free to ask. Either Catherine and I will be able to, or hopefully be able to help you out by answering them and helping you through this. This is going to show the living room photos. It's going to outline where the bodies had been laying. You're going to see decomp fluid that is there, the hair, things like that. So if you have children, this is probably not the video for them to be watching with you at this time. I just want to put that disclaimer out there for everybody, because we are talking about blood, and we are talking about the murders that supposedly happened in the living room. And so if you want to go ahead and pause and take your children out of the room, that would be perfectly fine with me. The bodies of David, Kamel, and Rania were located on the living room carpet. But is this where they died? Today, Catherine and I are going to discuss the official narrative, which stated David supposedly had snuck up on Kamel and Rania while they were presumed to be watching the pink iPad. He proceeded to shoot Kamel twice in the head and Rania once in the head. It is also stated that David staged the crime scene and wrote on the wall. The commentary carried on that David had laid down on the carpet near the girls and then shot himself once in the head. This is all false. Please continue to watch, because by the time we finish this presentation, we will prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that the official narrative is a flat-out lie. How can we prove this? We have the crime scene photos, screenshots of the reports from the case, comments made by family, friends, and investigators, and lastly, we have used a negative filter, which helps to highlight the blood, body fluid, and hair. You, as a viewer, will be able to easily see for yourselves the highlighted items. At the end of this video, you too will be asking not only yourself, but others, where did the Crowleys die? Who moved their bodies? Who did this horrible crime? And lastly, why were their murders swept under the rug? Unfortunately, we don't have all of those answers, but with your help, we can work together to find justice for David Crowley and his family. Okay, this next slide, we'll be looking at a conversation between Dan Hinnon and Sidra Alam. This happened several months after David and Kamel were discovered. David, Kamel, and Rania were discovered deceased in their living room. Within this conversation, Sidra recalls what the detectives told her when she was in Minnesota. The detective stated that David shot both Kamel and Rania in the back of the head while they were in the living room. This slide actually is pointing out, Dan asked Sidra about the deaths, and she says, talked to the investigators and I got some new information. My sister and Rania were shot in the back of the head. And Dan asked, in which room? The front room? So disgusting. Sidra Alam says, yes, the living room. Dan Hennon, do you know if they were standing or sitting? Or do you know the time of the day, what everyone was wearing? And then Sidra responds, no, they don't know, and yet still waiting. They're saying it happened on Christmas, but it's a guesstimate. What we're doing is we're looking at the recliner and the blood spot that's on the recliner. This is just a partial crime scene photo. I cropped it so that we could just see this particular area. And I chose to zoom in and block the blood located on the arm part because I'd like for you to see the results once we use the negative filter. You'll see that a negative filter highlights the blood as a kind of greenish, bluish color. We ask for you to look for this particular color throughout the slideshow, and it will tell you where there's blood in this living room and where there's not blood in this living room.
I just want to jump in here real quick and let everybody know that on this recliner, what you're looking at right now is the bottom right-hand corner of the footrest. This is the part of the foot part that would either come up or it was in the down position. I don't know which one, but this is the part that would be closest to the floor.
Okay, and then the next slide, please. And as you'll see, it's like a bluish-green color like we stated.
Yeah, it really brings it out.
It does. And then the white color is just shadowing from the furniture. So just so you can see the difference as we go throughout the photos of the living room. Okay. And then, of course, this is the living room, and you can see the staining where the bodies were found. Now this, what you're seeing, is decomp. You're also seeing dog feces and lots of hair. And a lot of chaos, unfortunately. Would you like, okay, there we go. Now, we're not seeing that blue-green color once you put this filter on. And this is the same exact filter that I had on the recliner. So it highlights the decomp, which is more of a, Catherine, what color would you say that is?
It looks like a shade of white. Yeah, it's bright. It's brighter because it's the negative. You know, it's darker in the other one, and so it'll be brighter in this one. But yeah.
And so it definitely highlights the decomp. It highlights the hair, which you'll see throughout the photo, which is all white. And then, of course, the stuffing.
Yeah.
But take a look at the couch, too. The couch doesn't have that blue-green color.
No, it doesn't.
Except for the pillow, but anyway. This is what gunshot spatter looks like. We should be seeing this on the couch. And so as we're looking through the photos from now on, we're going to be focusing on the couch and that area. And I just wanted to provide a visual of what we need to be looking for. And then I put a filter on this photo so that you could see the color again to help you guys kind of see what you're supposed to be looking for throughout the photos.
Yeah, and this, everyone, is what is considered high velocity blood spatter, and you see how fine of a mist this is. It spreads out, and it's a very fine mist. In fact, you know, it looks so different. Compare this with the blood you see in the other photos. And then this is why we're telling you, you have to imagine, there are 4 gunshot wounds to 3 heads. And do you see any of this pattern anywhere? And especially in the living room, where this supposedly happened according to the narrative.
And then there's that blue-green color again, or aqua color. That's what was,
It's unmistakable. It just really jumps out.
yeah, it does. Okay. Now this is just a closer photo of the area where Kamel was found, and then Rania was between her legs a little bit further to the end of the photo.
Yeah, and I wish the pointer on my mouse pointer, I don't know if it can show up or not. I really wish that it would. If it does, that would be great. If not, I want people to please pay close attention because Sophia's done so much work on these. Look at the number 44, and then down below that, you see a decomp stain kind of going toward the middle to the lower, like left-hand side. It's making an angled pattern. Now, we know, according to not only the photos, but the descriptions and the drawings, Kamel was up and down. She was perpendicular, and this is, going at a slant. So
Right.
where did this decomp come from? It couldn't have come from her body unless. And Sophia will talk about that in a bit. So, please pay attention to everything you see in these. She has highlighted and done this work for a good reason.
And there you see there's no blue-green color at all. Except for, the pillow, of course, but the pillow is just reacting to the filter. But you don't see it on the couch. You don't see it where the bodies were laying. What you're seeing where that spot was, the decomp spot, past the marker 44, that's where Kamel, well, she was laying almost, Catherine, you said straight?
Yeah, she was like, straight up and down, and this decomp goes like from the middle to like at a slant. But
Yeah.
there were no bodies laying here in this position where the decomp is actually located.
Yes, that's correct. So, and what you're seeing on this couch right here, all those marks, those are just marks from either the dog or from the family when they were alive. And I went to a furniture store, actually 2 of them, and took photos so that you could see for yourself that these are actual marks made by humans. It's not blood. Blood is not on this couch. It would have highlighted when I did the filter, like it did on the recliner.
Are you ready for the next one?
Yes, ma'am. Catherine went ahead and did a little bit different. You want to explain what you did with this photo?
Yeah, and with this one, when I ran it through not only the negative, but I took the negative and then I went through and I ran it through a color saturation process to bring out certain colors and shadings to see if you're going to see any blood spatter at all. And you don't. As Sophia was pointing out, you see marks. Here, to me, this looks like writing. Once I see it, I can't unsee it. So this looks like, when you're kids and stuff, you like to write things on the fabric of your furniture. That's what this reminds me of. But this actually helps to show you that there is no blood spatter on this couch whatsoever. It would have really highlighted as well, but you see nothing.
What I would like to point out is that blanket right there. Those were either under the bodies or over Kamel, depending on which blanket it is. And that does have some blood on it. And when you put this type of filter on it, it brings it out. You can see it. It's now, because she put different colors on there, now the blood is showing up as kind of like a dark blue, like a bluish black.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see all where the blood is on the blanket. But still, again, not on the couch and not where the bodies were. This is the rug being lifted up to show where the bullet hole was, but if 3 people had been shot on this rug, the blood would have seeped through the padding and spread out. So would the decomp. But we're not seeing that when the rug is lifted up and folded back. And I went ahead and highlighted it in the filter again in the next slide. And what we're seeing is just the filter reacting to the wood floor. So that's what that is doing over there. But we still don't see the blood. Not even when the carpet is lifted up. And of course, this is the blood wall and the back part of the couch. And we're going to add the filter to it in the next slide. It's highlighted the blood.
Wow, it really stands out on this one.
Yeah.
You did a great job on this one.
Thank you. But once again, we still don't see it on the couch. There we go. And then Catherine did this one, which actually I like better than my filter because you can see it better. And look at behind the couch right there. Underneath the bookcase, you're going to see the lights, the Christmas lights. Now, we're thinking that the Christmas lights were hanging on the wall, kind of like made little dips. Oh, God, I can't think of it.
Like scallops.
Yes, scallops. On the wall, possibly, to be festive. But I'm thinking that somebody moved this couch to right on the wall, the Allahu Akbar. The lights were torn down, and then the couch was placed back and against the wall, and the lights were just shoved up against the wall like that. And then they put the bodies on the carpet. Okay, just to remind you, this is what we're looking for, this type of pattern. This is what gunshot blood spatter is. And when we look at the couch, again, we're not going to be seeing it. Okay, so this is close up to the couch. And these dark stains is just either staining from the dog and over time, or that the couch fabric has been rubbed against the grain. And there is a book underneath there, and then there's like a piece of paper or fabric that's in the corner of the couch and the love seat together. So that's what you're seeing right there. And then when we put that filter on, we're not seeing the blood. We're just seeing the shadows of the couch cushions. And then the bottom of the couch gets the carpet. We see the book. And we see that piece of fabric or piece of paper that's shoved underneath the couch. Thank you, Catherine. And by the way, this is where Camille's head was.
Yep. Right around this area, right close to where the book is.
So there should be at least 2 high-velocity blood spatter. And there should be a pool of blood from her laying there. But we don't see it. Okay, this is one of the couches that I went to go see. And it's got the same fabric as the Crowley's couches. I think it's microfiber, and or like a type of suede in a way. And this is actually in a furniture store, so it was pretty clean. And so when you see the filter being applied, the only marks that are on the cushions is what I had made on it, and you really can't even see those. But and you'll see the shadowing. This is not from the crime scene. This is from a furniture store. for anybody who might be a little confused. I'm just trying to compare it to the couch that was in the living room and to show you that some of the marks on there with the negative filter also can be found in a regular couch that has not been in a crime scene.
Yeah, and it resembles too the Crowley couch in the sense that we know there's no blood spatter on this whatsoever, and it looks exactly the same like their couch. So nothing is highlighted on their couch to show the high velocity.
And then this is a different couch that I found over at Home Goods, and there's plenty of people have touched this couch and sat on this couch, and so it's pretty marked up. And when the filters apply to it, you'll see that. And this resembles the Crowley couch more than the other one, I think.
Yeah.
And then you see all the marks, and a lot of the marks resemble the Crowley couch.
Yep, it really does.
Even the flooring does. It resembles the Crowley flooring.
Yeah. I think you got a good match on this one.
Thank you. And that was by chance, too. I wasn't expecting to find that there. So, and then I think these next photos are comparisons, yep, to the Crowley couch, and then the couches, or this is the Home Good couch up the top, and then of course the bottom is the Crowley couch. And then we're going to put a negative filter, and you'll see the same markings, except for, of course, the dog markings too. And again,
wow, the markings really show up really well on this filter that you used on the top, and yeah, compared with the one down below, it looks the same.
Yep. Same fabric, so it really brought it out. Okay.
And so we're doing the top. Okay.
Yeah, just looking at the top. I mean, their couch, the Crowley couch, was more used than this one. Now, I'm going to leave it up to the viewers to decide whether or not they believe that the Crowleys were killed in the living room. And I hope that this has helped you figure out, or not figure out, I'm just hoping that this helps you see that with a negative filter, it does bring out the blood. We showed it with the recliner, how it brought it out, and on the wall, how it brought it out. But we just don't see it on the couch. So I'm thinking, and this is an assumption, that they were killed someplace else, and the crime scene was staged. The couch was moved so that they could continue the staging of the crime scene, and right on the wall, couch was placed back. When they did that, the Christmas lights are hanging. They're kind of stuck between the couch and the wall, and they're just hanging there. I think that they were up on that wall above the couch, and I think that the bodies were placed back there after the staging was done and the couch had been moved back, because you just don't see the blood there. There should be blood. So either this didn't happen and what we're seeing is mannequins, which I'm doubting, or they were killed someplace else and placed there after the staging was done. And now it's up to the viewer to decide.
Yeah, and I just want to say thank you, because I know how much work you put into doing this. And just so to bring this home just a little bit more, I want to share the recliner photo one more time. And here it is. Here's that blood spot. And now let's look at it, what it highlighted. This is what you would expect to see on the couch, if or anywhere, even on the rug somewhere, if they had sustained the gunshot wounds to their head. But yet we do not. We don't see it at all. We don't see any high velocity. And if you remember, she had one great photo. She put it in two different places in here that showed the spray pattern, how it's a very fine mist. And that was nowhere in the living room. Nowhere.
Yeah, even if you look at the other crime scene photos of the living room floors, the wooden floors, you're not going to see that pattern. The walls, you're not going to see that pattern.
No, we see medium velocity for sure. But
yeah, and passive blood drops, but we're just not seeing that high velocity. And we will be doing a video in regards to that in the future. Yep. It's just taking forever because I'm a procrastinator.
So many things keep happening, but yeah. But, I mean, I just want to say thank you, because when you brought this idea to me and let me know that you were working on this, it helps, for me, it really helps solidify the fact that those bodies, were not placed where they were found. They weren't found in the position they died, okay? Mm-hmm. The bodies have been moved by who we don't know when, and I am not saying the police did this. I'm not saying that at all. But you see the patterns, and again, we'll be covering this in another video as well, but you see the decomp patterns where the pattern is doing this. But we know, according to the photos, she's laying this way, but the decomp pattern is going this way. How does that happen?
It's the same thing with David, too.
Yes. Yes.
His is off to the side, and he is laying more straight with the, like, is it parallel?
Yeah, in fact, let me bring that up, because I think that oh, wait, slideshow. Give me just a second here. And slideshow, what is going on with this? Okay, there we go. Ah, there we go. I found it. And I'm going to share this slide here real quick.
Okay.
You get that off. No outlining. Okay. Now guys, give me just a second here so I can share this, because let's reiterate this point. Okay. Here's where I was talking about. You see this decomp stain there, and then this one. I think, oh, maybe I passed it up. Sorry.
It's farther to the front.
Yeah. Start from first slide. There we go. This one. Now,
see how that's off to the side? David was parallel to the recliner.
Yes, his hand was actually over here. His right arm was over real close to here. And when we looked at these closer, where the bodies were located, his head was actually like right here. And this right here almost looks like this is where the shoulders or the arm should have been, but the head was right by, and I don't know if you guys can see my pointer, but again, where you see these decomp stains on this photo, the bodies were not there.
Yeah, so I tried to overlay the body photos with the decomp photos from this right here, and it didn't line up. But I couldn't get it 100% perfect. And number one, I'm not going to put that body photo on YouTube. And so in the end, I had to chuck that whole project.
Well, and unfortunately, you're not going to be able to get it 100% perfect because of the angle that they stood. We don't have the same photo where they're standing at the same exact angle, taking it up the rug and then with the bodies there and then with the bodies moved. They have different angles. Right here, they're like almost doing it a corner, but then the next one is where they're almost looking straight on. But with what you did do, don't scrap it too much. I hope you have some of it saved, because I really think that it does show enough proof that where these decomp stains are is not where these bodies were located when they were found. So there's only one option for that. And let me stop sharing. The only option is somebody move the bodies.
Yeah.
That is it. You have no other option. We know it wasn't the dog because of how the bodies were found. They were found too precise to have it be.
They were posed. At least David was.
Yes, they all have posed, exactly. So who is there? Who moved the bodies? Again, we'll cover that more in an upcoming video. But I just want to say thank you, Sophia, for all of your hard work on this. I think you did a great job.
Thank you. I could have done it without your help, honestly, because I mean.
Okay, everybody, no, I only did like filters on two photos. So no, she did. This is her work, and it's great. And it, like I said, it really helped. You know, when she was sending me as she's doing this, and she's sending me the presentation as she's working on it. I'm like, you know, this really solidifies exactly everything she's been saying. They weren't killed there. The bodies were posed. The bodies were moved, and there is not the blood present that should be present if you had 4 gunshot wounds to 3 heads in that area.
And anybody could download an app. It's called Negative Filter app. I found it in the Android store, but I'm sure you can find it for iPhone also. What is the program? Is it Coral?
I use Corel Paint Shop Pro, and then I also use that along with Lightroom. I use those two together.
And any of you could take any of the crime scene photos and put it through this negative filter to highlight the blood, to see it better. Because when it's on the wood floor and stuff, it's hard to see and a lot of, you know, like the details of it. And the filter just makes it pop. It really does.
Yeah, and that's the good thing about using both programs, because with one, you know, you can go into Corel or even Paint. I use Paint Shop Pro. What's the other one? Photoshop. They're basically the same programs, just different companies. So you put it in negative form, kind of work with the color and the hue saturation, and then I go into Lightroom, where then I tweak the whites and the darks, depending on if I'm doing color or if I'm, you know, just going black and white, or am I just doing negative. And then, because with each one of those, you can bring out the lightness or bring out the darkness, whatever it is you're trying to find. And even when I was doing that with these photos, nothing shows up. Nothing.
Yeah. And, you know, Catherine's using her programs. I use the Negative Filter app. And just, we got the same results. So there's no blood there. And now that explains why the carpet, there weren't samples taken from the carpet. There weren't samples taken from the couch. If there was blood on there, they would have. They took it from the recliner.
Good point. Yeah, exactly.
And they took blood samples off of the hardwood floor.
Mm-hmm.
They took it out of the kitchen where the blood drop, half the blood drops were. They took it off the walls. Anywhere there was blood, they took samples, but they didn't do the living room floor.
And each area of the blood was marked with a marker and a tag number. Yet nothing on the rug was tagged or marked for blood. You have the Quran and you know, the iPad and then of course the bodies in the bullet hole, but that's it.
Mm-hmm. That's correct. So I mean, this pretty much tells me there's no blood.
And like you said, that, you know, if you have a head wound and it's going to bleed even after death, because not to be crude, it's going to be an open wound, a gaping wound. So it's going to be oozing and coming out, and it will be in one particular area. But in where they pulled up the carpet, I mean the rug, it's not a carpet, where they pulled up the rug and they pulled it back because there's a bullet hole someone had shot through and then through the floor, is right around the area where David's body was found. That should have been soaked with blood on the back side of that rug.
Correct.
And you saw it. There is nothing.
And the amount of blood that David had on his clothes,
yes,
he would have left some on the carpet because he shot himself, supposedly, as the narrative goes.
Mm-hmm.
He would have left it on the carpet, but it's not there.
Exactly. Because the blood is also on the back of his shirts, plural, which soaked through all of his shirts and his pants and then his underwear.
Yeah.
But yet nothing on the rug. Not buying it. Just not buying it.
Yeah. So, I mean, anyway, that's what I have.
Well, again, thank you, Sophia, and we hope you guys learned something from this. And if there's anything else either you see, you want to point out, or something you don't understand, like Sophia said at the beginning, either leave a comment below or come to the Justice for David Crowley and Family Facebook page and post your comments there, because it's public. Anybody can write a comment there. And there are a lot of people, and I'm sure just about anybody would be willing to help you, either point you in the right direction, or, meaning like if you're needing to see more videos, or not videos, but pictures, or, reports or something, people are there to help, and you will find this stuff in the file section. You will also find the photos on Greg Fernandez Jr.'s website.
And WordPress.com.
Yeah, we'll have those links down below. Thank you. I forgot what it was. So we will have the links to those down below as well. And again, if you have any questions, ask. This is how we all learn.
Absolutely.
So, thank you so much, Sophia.
Yeah, and go ahead and do the filters. It's so easy to do. I didn't even use a computer. I used my phone. So anybody can do this. And you'll be really surprised at what you can see. It was pretty eye-opening for me, and kind of validating too, because I've been saying this all along, and I think a lot of you feel that they weren't killed in the living room. So this is going to be validating for you also. And if you have any questions, please ask, because we're happy to help you and walk you through doing this if you want to try it on your own. And I hope that we all learned something tonight. And thank you for going all the way through this video and bearing with us as we stumbled at the beginning. Sorry.
I know, it's like you would think by now I would have this down, but I don't. Sorry. There are just some days we're just not as good as others, and this was one of those not so good days.
Yeah, exactly.
But we made it. We made it through. Hopefully.
And thank you, Kathy, so much. I appreciate your help.
Well, and thank you. Thank you for including me. I appreciate it.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome.
Everybody have a good night.
Good night, everybody.
Hey, what's up everybody? This is Ross from Planet X Filmworks channel on YouTube and the Zodiac Files True Crime series. Check it out, and shout out to Greg and the Gray Stage channel. Their content is amazing.
Are you interested in the paranormal? Murder mysteries, cryptocurrency, and thought-provoking interviews. Then check out Crypt Rick's I've Been Thinking on YouTube, or every Monday night at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Studio A at Revolution Radio, freedomslips.com. Welcome to the Crypt.